How are you? I think you are seeing this video because you are having an application where you are bothered about. So this is Dilip Kumar Noni, a registered migration agent, registered with MARA and IEA, connected with Future in Australia, servicing people from last 11 years, giving close to helping close to 1,100 people migrate to Australia on permanent residencies and many thousand people on student visas, and also all 150 people to New Zealand on a permanent residency and thousands of students to New Zealand to study. So today I am talking about something which is very important topic about how exactly visas get refused, what actually makes applications get dishonored by immigration. A visa is not just a stamp. You need to understand, a visa is a permission given by a country for you to travel from your country to their country. So it is basically they are giving you a right and they are giving you permission to do certain activities in that country based on the visa what you are applying. So every different visas has a condition attached to it. So this condition gives you certain rights, like you can just travel, or you can work, or you can settle, or you can live, you can do business, blah blah blah. So every visa has certain conditions attached to it based on the type of visa you apply. The visa application process can be overwhelming even for seasoned travelers. It looks like very easy based on online stuff when you go through. It gives you all the information, what are the documents required, what are the information you need to supply, what forms you need to supply, and all the things. All the immigration websites are having complete information to give you how exactly you need to put the application in. But is that enough? Just now, put a question to yourself. Is that enough? Because if that is so simple, then why immigration itself is generating so many migration lawyers and agents to service to the clients? It is not just information. It is something called migration law. And a law has to be properly interpreted to make it acceptable for the officer to give you a visa. So many times people lose or get a visa refusal because they have provided fraudulent documents. So what do you mean by fraudulent documents? A document which is not being given by that person who is genuinely eligible to give you, or a document which was not genuinely given by an institution, but it has been prepared by a third party guy who is not having the right to give that. So if you are giving something like illegitimate documents, it's going to be a real problem for you all, let me tell you, because immigration has so many ways to really find out whether your document is fraudulent or not. They have so many ways to check. There are so many ways to identify, because today we are in the digital age and everything is online. And friends, you don't think that they will not know you completely. So don't give any wrong null information or fraudulent documents, which is the primary reason for many refusals. And the next thing, applying a visa, you feel it is very easy. But I tell you, you will think that this is what I want to do there, and then you apply for a visa and you get a refusal. You will have all the proper documentation, but still it is refused. Why? Maybe you have applied for a wrong type of visa. If you are applying for a wrong type of visa, the assessment officer will think that this guy is coming for this purpose, but this visa is for these people, but you have applied for this visa, so you're not matching your requirements to the visa what you have applied. So identifying the right visa is also important, and identifying the right scope of your travel is also important. So I will try to tell you something, friends. See, suppose you are planning to go to Australia to identify some business opportunities there. Okay, and you have applied for a visitor visa because you are visiting to that country to identify business opportunities. To you it is right, but for the immigration officer it is wrong, because there is a separate visa for that. And if you are applying for a tourism purpose and going there to do a business, it is totally two different tasks. So you are applying for a wrong visa, and there are high chances that your visa get refused. Unnecessarily there will be a black mark on your passport in your visa history because you have applied for a wrong visa. And the next thing is, you need to primarily explain to the officer what is the purpose of your travel. Okay, if you are not identifying the right purpose, just now I gave you an example. Your purpose of travel is business, but you applied for a visit. So if the purpose of travel is not primarily given in a proper way, the officer will have doubt on you of your genuineness. Why this guy is trying to travel for such a long time on a tourism purpose, having a business background, and he's coming alone. Why is he traveling? There's so many questions coming up in the heads of the case officer. And I'll tell you something, most of the case officers will be only looking into seeing what is wrong in the application. So first of all, you need to be very careful while you are projecting anything. So purpose of the travel is very common. In every application they'll ask whether it is for travel, whether it is business, whether it is PR, or whether it is for study. The purpose is primary concern for your particular application. So many times I'll tell you, you try to apply for an application, but you may not clearly give your background and circumstances in a proper way. How will the officer really understand you if you are not explaining about yourself? He will think that whatever the maximum information you are trying to give is provided, but you will feel that that is not required. So improper information and proper planning of your application, if it is not done, the officer will have many more doubts coming up. You should not create doubts. You should create a clarity to the officer why you are traveling, why exactly your need to travel, and from which duration to which duration. Everything should be very clear. So most of the embassies are also having a doubt how long this guy's or person's intended travel requirement is matching with your application. You are giving a clause saying that I am coming there for a business, but you applied for 6 months. Why do you need to come for 6 months? What is the reason for there to be there for 6 months? If you are not giving a proper explanation for that, there will be more and more doubts coming up. Like this, there are so many there, my friends. So you have to be giving a proper information about your intended travel and what are you going to do during the complete travel, and what is the reason requirement, and who is exactly you are meeting, who is actually supporting you, what exactly you are going to do. Everything should be properly projected. One thing you need to understand, you are traveling there. Means you need to prove that you are a genuine traveler. If you don't prove that you are a genuine traveler, the officer will think that it is not proper to give you a visa. Even though you have a good bank balance, you have a lot of money, you have a lot of properties, you have a good job, but still, if you are not proving that you are a genuine traveler, there are still high chances that your visa can be refused. And how to prove you are a genuine traveler? The reason, the cause, the background, and the purpose, everything should match. That is actually makes you a genuine traveler. And also, if you have been traveling long many times to different developed countries, it also creates a history of your travel, and it also gives you something like you are being genuine in traveling to different destinations and you came back without staying back there. Means you have been adhering to the conditions of the different visas. Once they feel that you are have a good travel history, like something like I have a resume which I have a lot of experience, then when I have a lot of experience, automatically the companies will be choosing me to hire. In a similar way, if you are having a good travel history, the countries will not have no problem to give you a visa. So travel history is one of the important requirement, and proving yourself as a genuine traveler is also important. Okay, so another one of the point where you will have a visa refusal is questionable financial record. What is that? So you will provide funds in your bank account or funds shown by different people for different sources, from different sources, and those funds may be recent funds or doesn't have a source of funds, or the person who is showing you is not an eligible person for that particular visa to show, so many things like that. So if the funds what you are showing is not proper for the visa what you are applying for, even though you have lakhs of rupees, it's going to lead you for a refusal. So you need to understand, you need to have a proper planning on what funds you are showing, how are you showing, what are you showing. I'll give you an example. Suppose you are applying for a visitor visa, and for that visitor visa you are showing funds of your wife's brother's funds that he is funding you for your travel. Officer straight away understands, why is this guy taking a fund or money from a distant relative to travel? Why is that there is a huge need for him to travel when he don't have funds? Maybe he has given you all the documentation saying that all these funds are ready for him to travel, utilize. But the reason for what you are looking for and the person whom you are choosing to fund you doesn't really match. So this is a small example, but let me tell you, different visas have different people who can be eligible to fund you. So be careful, yeah. Don't be in a hurry to show funds. You need to be having a proper planning on your funds. You're always seen as a person with a doubt. How? Based on the documents what you are giving, they will think whether you are a genuine guy or not, because they don't see you. Most of the times it is the documents which speak. It is not what you speak physically is going into their heads. So the document what you are giving has to be legitimate, explanatory, and focus to the requirements of that particular visa. If a visa officer suspects a small iota of doubt on any document, that creates furthermore doubts, and he starts getting more in detail about your background, your purpose of travel, and what all documents you have given. And once he starts digging, then it's going to be a real trouble. So the documentation what you're giving should be in such a way that it doesn't create a doubt into their heads. Okay, that is important. So the moment you are creating a doubt, there will be a red flag coming up onto the system, which will be continued for the rest of the visas also. Even though suppose he gives you a visa today on this particular thing, but he had a doubt on a particular document, he alerts a red flag, and that will be always there for all your future visas. So you need to be very careful in planning on what documents you are submitting for a particular application. Okay, so the next thing what I would like to say, if suppose the officer calls you to really verify your genuineness, to identify what is your real purpose. If he has some doubts on the documents what you have submitted, he may call you and interview or cross-verify you or try to drill to identify what all documents you have given are genuine or not. When you are talking on the interview, if you are not confident, there and then he will identify that there is something fishy. So taking an interview is also an art, and you should be very careful, and you should be very confident and sure for whatever information you are providing them. So friends, the other point which you also need to understand. See, if you have been traveling to different countries, you need to be also careful and telling the immigration where all you have traveled. If you have no travel history, it is plus and minus to the application. It's not really giving them an idea, are you a genuine traveler? It's also not giving you an idea, they're giving them an idea, you are not a genuine traveler. It is giving a no plus and minus thing. So if you are having a travel history, even for a small country, try to tell them, don't hide anything. Many times, even if you have gone to Singapore and came back, that gives you a travel history which says this guy at least went where a little developed country and came back within the timelines, and he has headed to the visa. So weak travel history also creates a doubt into the minds of the officer in identifying and giving you a visa. But this is not always that if you don't have a travel history, they will refuse you. Don't think in that way, but give all the information for whatever applications you have applied. If even though they are refused, mention it. If they have been issued but you did not travel, mention it. If you have traveled, mention it. This is important. That will give an idea what exactly you are. Suppose you are going for a business to Australia and you have never traveled. They will feel what this guy is going to do a business in Australia with not even traveling to a small other countries to do a business. Means they will have a doubt, but doesn't mean that they will not refuse your visa because of that. But it is your point to see that no doubts are created, and all doubts what are created are answered by your documentation. One of the major reasons for rejection could be the passport. What is that? How can your visa be refused by a passport? That is the main point, part for your visa to be given. See, I'll tell you, your passport should be valid for at least 6 months at the time of grant. And if you are suppose your passport is not valid for 6 months at the time of grant, they cannot grant you. That is one of the reasons for many countries that is mandatory for them to follow before giving you a visa grant. So now you are understanding that even a passport can lead you for your refusal. And one more thing, so you are been traveling to UK or USA or different places for different purposes, and then now you are applying for Australia. Means your passport has a lot of value added onto it because you have traveled to all developed countries, never stayed back, did your business, came back, which means that you are a good businessman or you're a good traveler or you're a good student. Whatever may be, your past travel history will create additional impact on your future visas in plus or minus. So if you have a visa refusals, it's going to be minus. If you are overstaying somewhere, it's going to be minus. If you are having more visa grants and you traveled and came back, it is going to be plus. So these are some of the reasons which you need to consider. So this main area you need to be concentrating very well. So I think I have covered much of the important parts of the visa refusals. I'll now tell you about few more areas where you will be having issues with your applications. What all information you need to disclose while you are making an application? Always be genuine. Give all the information about your family, your properties, your financials, your employment, your business, your commitments, your incentives in the home country, and also the connections, the possible people you are going to meet, and information about them. These are the informations should go along with the application, and that will give a clear idea to the officer to give you a visa. Okay guys, so it's been a long time. I've been explaining you so many things about what you should be careful about your application. Okay, so now I would like to say, do you want to have all this headache on your heads, or you want this headache to be handled by a professional? Is it something like you want to treat yourself for your disease, or you want a professional to treat your disease? Similar thing. So here your application, there it is your health. So if your application needs a proper flavor, proper attention, proper way of addressing, then you need to choose a registered migration consultant. What is registered migration consultant? I will tell you in my next video, but look into the websites called mara.gov.au or iaa.gov.nz, which and who the immigration is authorizing these people to represent. Who are those people are genuine. Immigration is trying to tell these people are having knowledge and they are authorized and they can represent. So be careful, don't get into fraudulent people, because if they do anything wrong, at the end of the day, it is you who are going to face the problem. Okay, right guys, thank you.